Dickerson here with Julie Lamb. And what are we doing? Two moms on a Friday afternoon? We're folding laundry. And so, back by popular demand, we're bringing back our Laundry and Learn series. It's like a lunch and learn, but with laundry. We come and we fold laundry. And so, if you've got a pile of laundry that you're folding, come and fold it with us and just hang out. So, this is our opportunity to connect directly with you, to be real, to welcome you into our homes, and just to have a conversation about real estate, about life, about anything in between. So, Julie, how's your day going so far?
It's going good. Just busy, busy, busy. I'm start my meetings. When did I start this morning? At 7 a.m. So I got up at
Whew.
5, checked my emails, and Slack is like a Christmas tree for me because I'm all in Hawaii, and the rest of the team is all over the US, but everyone is from, Portland area to San Diego to New York to Kansas now, and
Yeah.
kind of all over the board. So it's been quite the busy morning, and we've got a lot going on, as we always do, though. So
Yeah.
it's
Now, the
been good.
last time we did, I think we first launched Laundry and Learn back in, gosh, 2018, 2019. And the clothes we were folding at that time were much smaller.
Yeah.
And so, but you mentioned something the other day. You said you don't fold a whole lot of laundry these days because all your kids do their own laundry. So tell me about that. How do you have it all set up?
Yeah, well, so I'll back it up just a little bit, kind of like where it started as I was talking with a friend, kind of like about all this, adulting, momming stuff that we have to do. And she mentioned to me this book that's called, I was telling her about just like all the stuff that we still do for our kids. We cook breakfast, we drive them around, we make their lunches. It's set up like a cafeteria in the morning. They come, they grab their snacks, they grab their lunches, we pick them up, we drop them off, we do the whole thing. And she was kindly suggested that you might want to think about reading this book that's called How to Raise an Adult. And I was intrigued because obviously, the goal is to eventually raise an independent adult who,
Right.
for me, in a couple years, can move out and be on their own and be able to survive in the world, right? Like that's our goal as parents. And so I just thought it was such an interesting book. And after reading the book, I realized, and you know this about me, Annie always teases me because she says she doesn't say this, but she teases me because the parenting styles are very different. And I
Oh, yes.
very much on like know where all of my kids are at every single moment of every
Yes.
single day. I've got the trackers. I'm what you
But
call a
you,
helicopter mom.
but here's the flip side of that I admire so much about it is that you have these systems set up in your house. So that's why I'm like, when you said that, I was like, what? Your
Yeah.
kids do all the laundry? You got to tell me your secret. So I'm definitely going to read that book. Okay, so tell me, you read the
So,
book and then how did you get it
so
like set up?
how to set it up. Yeah. So I read
Yeah.
the book, just realized that we were, wow, I was like blown away. I'm like, okay, we're over parenting. That's essentially what she says is
Ah,
really coined the term as like helicopter parenting, but she coins it as like, it's called over parenting. And so it's the whole premise of the story is about how do we get our kids to be more independent in their lives today, not necessarily independent, 10 years from now, but how do we get them small things, small changes to help them build the skill sets that they need to eventually be off on their own. And so we started to kind of just like look at, well, what is it that the kids are doing right now that are small steps towards, this more independent lifestyle. And one of the things that we saw, for example, is that my kids can walk to school, but we've been driving them. It's not close. It's not like, around the corner across the street, but it's about a mile away. And so it's like they could technically walk. So we asked them if that's something, how would they like to do it? they can bike to school, they can walk, or they can scooter or whatever it is, or they can catch the bus. And so my oldest one said that she wanted to catch the bus. So I said,
amazing.
never rode the bus in her life. And it's not like in a smaller suburb where you have the yellow school bus that comes by your house in the neighborhood. We live in a city. Right? So it's a bus, like a public bus that she has to catch.
Yeah.
Walk to the bus stop. So there's many things that have to happen, right, for her to catch the bus, because the rule is that she has to get herself up early enough to catch the bus. So I no longer, because we were doing this still, oh, come on, wake up. It's time time to go to school, whatever. So that's one thing, is we said, okay, you guys need to figure out on your own, like how you're going to get to school. And then you need to wake up on your own to make it to school.
Yeah.
So these small changes now in the morning, I'm like, well, like 7 a.m. they're not ready yet. I'm like, whatever, like, because the consequences, you got to walk to school. If it's not like bike to school or catch the bus to school, you have to walk to school, and then you're going to be late and you're going to have to go in. And we taught them, here's what you do. You go to the office and you talk, you tell them that you're late today and you need a tardy slip and the whole thing. Like, I'm not going to do it anymore, so they have to fix that reality. So that's one way. The thing with the laundry, we gave each of our children a laundry basket now of their own, because believe it or not, we had a family laundry hamper, and all 5 people would put thetheir clothes in that hamper.
Yeah.
And every 2 days, the thing's like overflowing. So I was like, okay, so now what we're going to do is each of you has your own. And if you don't do your laundry, then you're not going to have clothes to wear, and you're not going to have your clothes for soccer, and you're not going to have clothes for gym. So now they understand that. And I was like, at first I gave them little hints, and I'm like, you better, like, hey, I just walk by and I'm like, hey, looks like your laundry's getting full. You might want to think. They're like, oh yeah, I was going to do it tonight, So even in those two things, like what independence they're building and what freedoms now have from just over parenting and having to watch them all the time. So anyway, that's the long answer to
yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so just for anybody who's listening, so how old are your kids now? Because people are probably thinking like, oh, she must have older kids, but how old are your kids now?
Yeah, no, they are older. Let's see, 12, 11, and 8, almost 9. So
they're not teenagers yet. They're not like,
they aren't because of their age, but they, for all intents and purposes, they're teenagers. Yeah, I mean, not the youngest one. But yeah, the older two are definitely, very teen-ish. They're, I guess, what you call tweens, right? So yeah. Well, it reminds me of, because that was not, I don't know, you and I had very different upbringings in certain ways. And I remember when I was that age, my mom did everything for me. It was like all the laundry, all the cooking, all of the coddling, all of the, So when I went off to college, I had to learn all those things very quickly. I had never really done my own laundry, maybe cooked a thing here or there, out of the box. It was it was a rude awakening. I mean, I loved it. I think I was independent in other ways, but it was a very all of a sudden I had to be an adult. So I love this approach that you're letting them try things and experiment and really develop that independence while they're at home. I think that's genius. That is so funny. I didn't know
Isn't
that.
It?
Look at that. I learned something new about you just that night when we were in the hotel room, and I realized that we weren't the same age. It's like the whole thing all over again, But that was exactly the opposite of my upbringing. I have been independent on my own. I moved out of my house when I was 16, and was just, I did everything: cooked, cleaned, did the laundry, washed the car, did everything from as early as I can remember. And I was very, very, very independent. And it's just funny though that, I ended up raising my kids completely different from that, and wanted to coddle them and be, that's how it was. My kids got your life, so.
It's so funny. It's so funny. And something that always struck me from very early on in our relationship was you mentioned that you had always wanted to own a business, to start a business, to run a business. Does that come from that independence from an early age, or where did that interest and passion come from?
I think that came from I think it's just, I don't know how to say it other than I feel like it's in my blood and my genes. My
Mm.
grandfather owned a bar and a restaurant and was a bartender and a restaurateur,
Ah,
my great grandmother owned a grocery store here in Hawaii. And
uh-huh.
so and my dad owned I think had like an electrician business on the side as like a part-time thing. And so I think I just have like the entrepreneurial spirit in me, because I didn't grow up with any of those people in my life. My grandfather passed away when I was young, and obviously my great grandmother wasn't around, and my dad and my mom and dad weren't together when I was growing up, but I just knew that that's what he did. And so I didn't really have that influence necessarily. And my mom worked for the airlines, so she didn't have like a entrepreneurial bug. My mom and I are very different, by the way. And so I think it's just one of those things that like, just, from when I was a little kid, I was like, going door to door selling cookies, selling, Fimo clay. If anyone who's a kid from the 80s, you remember the Fimo clay. And I used to make little Fimo things and go around the neighborhood and sell them. And
Yeah.
the like, making something, and like Robert Kiyosaki talks about in his book of, making opportunity where there is none, where one doesn't
Right.
exist,
Yep.
like the thrill for me. And yeah, so it's been a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting you say that, because when you talk about that, there's a lot that I can relate to from my childhood, because I started a lot of clubs
Uh-huh.
and I sold a lot door to door, and I was always trying to start something.
Uh-huh.
But maybe the difference is I didn't have any business owners around me. So it wasn't even like I didn't even connect the dots to be like, oh, this is like starting a business. I would sell
Uh-huh.
candy at school. I would like do all these things, but it never occurred to me that, maybe I could start a business. It was just like, oh, this is just something I do on the side. I
Yeah.
remember with the Beanie Baby craze, that might be beyond your time a bit, but with
Yeah.
the Beanie Baby craze, oh man, I mean that was probably the closest to a full-fledged business that I had when I was younger. I was like maybe 11, 12 years old,
Uh-huh.
and I had hundreds of Beanie Babies. I knew every Beanie Baby by heart, the
Yeah.
retirement date, how much it was worth. I would run these online auctions. I would do all these trading across, like I would mail
Wow.
them and then I would buy them secondhand and resell them. It was like this whole thing. But in
Uh-huh.
still, I was like, that's not a business. That's just a
Yeah.
thing that I do.
Yeah.
And so it's funny how we both kind of had the seeds of that, when we were
Yeah.
even from a young age.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. And look at us now. Here we are.
Folding
Oh,
laundry on a Friday afternoon.
that's
That's where
right.
we are.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
speaking of which, this is the Friday before Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
And so, some of our listeners and viewers might know that, when we first started Good Egg, well, when you and I first started talking about our mutual passions in real estate, it was really around helping moms, helping
Mhm.
women and moms in real estate. And it's been such a core piece of everything that we've built and a huge passion of ours. I feel like moms are the real superheroes of the world. And so it's such a privilege and an honor to be able to help moms to build wealth.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And what a community we've built of so many women. I feel like we still get a lot of calls and messages from women or men who say, my wife told me about you guys, or, my friend's wife told me about you guys. And so it's just such an amazing community that we've built of, folks who are also passionate about real estate investing, and also, helping other women and moms. And it's just been such a fun journey. And here we are entering our 7th year in business, which I can't even imagine. So much has happened. We were just talking the other day about, how we've literally raised our kids,
Yeah.
throughout time that we've been working this business. And it's been a
Yeah.
journey. So
I
yeah.
mean, their underwears were like teeny tiny when we first started folding their laundry on, I mean, it was like, I can't believe it. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah. Most of our kids don't know a world without Good Egg Investments.
that's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
And on the other side is our moms.
Yep.
And so your mom and my mom were two of the first investors who invested with us. I mean, you can always count on your mom, right,
Yeah.
to be there for you. And so super grateful for them. And they're still investing with us to this
Yeah.
day. So
Yeah.
grateful for that. Means we haven't
Yes.
let them down yet.
Yeah. Still to this day, it's been the longest sales cycle I have ever gone through was with my mom. From talking about it to actually closing on the sale was the
She
longest
had the
one ever.
most questions.
The most questions. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, hey, I'm done with my laundry. Are you done with yours?
I'm done with mine. Yep.
You probably had many fewer because you're only folding yours. I'm folding like the whole family. So I got to get on that whole family laundry
Yeah.
Oh, but anyway, as always, it's such a joy to spend time with you, folding laundry or not. And to all the members of the Good Egg community, thank you for being here with us on this Friday afternoon or whenever you're watching this. And until next time, we're going to be folding laundry I think it's going to be every other week. We're going to do a laundry and learn. So reach out to us. Let us know what topics you want to hear about. Otherwise, we'll just shoot the breeze while we fold laundry. You're welcome to fold laundry with us. We would love to have you. Any last words, Julie?
Nope, nope. Just looking forward to reigniting this whole thing and having everyone join us along the journey. Next time, I'd love to, spend some time talking about what's been happening in the marketplace. There's obviously lots to talk about, and would love to bring everyone into that conversation. And yeah, looking forward to the next one.
Till next time. Bye, everyone.
See you later.